Memorial Day weekend. It is Sunday, and there you go. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Sunday, Memorial Day weekend, and it's a nice day out, so let's see what the chat room has in store, and good morning to the Roto Lady.
Good morning, Leonard.
Okay, good morning to Anthony D.B. Miller, who's making an appearance. Unfortunately, life gets in the way, right? Anthony D.B. Boston Paul is here. Chris from Cambridge. Rotorius is here. James Caprion. We talked about you all day yesterday. And ladies and gentlemen, he finished his last day on Friday. Leonard Donaldson is now officially retired. So he
is?
Yep, he will be listening to the podcast every day, all day now. That's what you got to do with your life. So great to see him in there. Tom Johnston is here. Good morning, Tommy Boy. Still waiting to hear from you. And you know why. I'm not going to put any pressure on you, but come on. It's time to get started. Thank you, Tommy. Says the sound is good. Sound is good. The sound is good. And the sound is good. Okay, let me start off, Andy, okay? Can I start off?
Of course.
All right. Now, at the beginning of the season, many people say that they don't look at their team right away. They don't make trades. I suggested that if you can identify a major weakness in your team, you make trades immediately. I talk about the Leroy... about the Kelly for Tartable deal that I made to get stolen bases during the draft. But many people suggest that they don't really start fiddling around with their team until Memorial Day. Well, you know what? It is now Memorial Day. When do you start looking at your team, Andy, and start to make changes?
Yeah, this is about the time I do.
You're one of those. You wait till Memorial Day?
Well, yeah, because I want to see what my players are going to do.
But can you identify? Are you? And I know you
could be like Boston Paul. He starts trading as soon as the draft is over.
That's right. Well, look, if I have Eddie Heckman in my league, I'm not going to be trading at all. He's going to complain about every trade. But good morning, Eddie. I would say that. So when you come out of a draft and you see your team is, I'll say, very weak in stolen bases, and you want to address it right away and try to make a deal, and you know you have a strength in home runs, I'm just playing it simple.
Well, yeah. I mean, if I see that I'm like last in stolen bases and first in home runs, clearly it's not a hard line on Memorial Day. It's just that I don't make trades just to trade. I definitely am not a huge fan of trades because I try to work with what I have for a while. But if I see that, I'm clearly way ahead in home runs and I'm lacking in stolen bases.
You're projecting way ahead in home runs. I'm talking about at the draft or coming out of the draft.
No, never. I don't know. I draft teams to have enough home runs.
But I'm talking about projecting. If you project a strength in home runs and a weakness in steals, would you make a trade right away? Projecting?
I guess, but that's not how I draft my teams.
Okay, I'm asking it. I'm not criticizing.
I draft my teams projecting to get enough stolen bases and
enough home runs.
But
what happens if you don't get
Then I'll make a trade. But you always... Look, first of all, I spend a lot of work on my drafts, and I like my drafts, and I work with what I have. I don't come out of the draft saying, "Oh, I didn't get any stolen bases, and now I need."
What happens if you can't help it?
There's always somebody,
especially if it's an auction draft. What happens if you just can't afford to get enough stolen bases or home runs or batting average?
Well, I mean, if you're forcing me into saying that I'll make a trade after the draft, I will.
When's the last time I forced you into anything?
Like I said, it's not a hard line that I'll never do it. But I try to draft teams that I'm confident in. And to start drafting right after or trading right after the draft, it doesn't make sense to me.
Well, okay. To me, it makes a lot of sense. If I come out of the draft and I know that statistically I'm not very strong in a category or two, I will right then and there
Don't you want to rack, like, let's say you're strong in home runs.
Yeah.
But you are weak in stolen bases. And
I'll
that's
try
happened.
to make that. I'll make that deal.
Don't you want to get ahead in home runs of the first few weeks of the season to get enough home runs so that you can actually trade away one of your home run guys and not lose anything for it?
I'm not going to trade a home run guy away to go from a strength to a weakness. I project if I
don't have any strength if the season hasn't started yet. You just have potential.
Based on potential, based on projections.
No, I'll never make trades on potential.
Okay, now, 2019. There was a team that went 22-32. Okay, 22-32. Would you give that team any chance of winning the World Series 2019? 2005. Okay?
No, I wouldn't have given them any chance, but at 22-32
22-32
is how they started the season, and they won the World Series.
And they won the World Series. How about in 2005? They lost the World Series, but they were in it, and they were 20-34 at this stage of the game.
This is why I don't think you should be making projections this early. This is why I don't think you should count out teams like the Phillies or other teams that have started off sucky.
Okay.
I mean, unless they're named Oakland.
Good morning to Post 1958. Good morning to Poncho.
The Oakland A's have won 10 games all season. Okay, so yes, I count them out. They're on pace for 30 wins. Right now, it's exactly 1/3 of the way through the season, and I think, I know people that are actually quit, like, saying that they're not playing for this year anymore. Is that...
No.
You cannot do that, right?
And they don't do it. You haven't seen a major league team say that.
No, I'm talking about fantasy teams.
Oh, yeah, there are fantasy teams.
But why are they quitting so early?
Because they feel they don't have a good team and they're playing for next year. And by the way, that's not a bad strategy.
It is this early.
If you're in a what's that kind of league where all the prospects?
Dynasty?
If you're in a dynasty league, I will suggest again, you draft for winning every year. And if it comes time, the end of May, and your team is 22-32, your team's not doing very well, that's the time you look at the teams struggling to win and you trade your big players that you got in the draft. You will get better prospects that way than if you tried to draft them in a regular draft. Do you agree with that?
Yes, but it's not time yet.
Not time. 2019 World Series was won by the Washington Nationals, and that's the team that was 22-32 at one point early in the season. And in 2005, the World Series losing Houston Astros were at one time 20-34. Okay. Now you talk about Oakland. They won 10 games all season, on pace to win 30. This is absolutely killing Major League Baseball. Exactly one.
How is it killing baseball?
Because you have a team that can't win, doesn't try to win, is trying to move. It's just killing the game. Now,
I don't think it's killing the game. Okay,
look,
that's
the game,
crazy
let's put
to
it this way:
it's ridiculous.
The game is not killed, but it's really hurting the game.
How?
Well, exactly 1/3 through the season, Oakland is 10-44. Run differential is -190. They are not competitive. You can. The schedule where they play every team, it's bull dinky. The Mets and the Red Sox.
These sports vultures, these media vultures, they like to say that Oakland isn't trying and they don't love winning.
They're not trying.
You think the players go out there and don't try?
The players,
honestly,
but if you don't have the equipment to try and to win.
I understand. You need to be given the tools that you can to succeed, that you need. But Oakland is clearly in a position of change. They are moving to Las Vegas. They've been wanting to for a long time, but I don't really think that it's right to say that the team doesn't want to win. It's the ownership's fault. And you know how to solve the problem? You make MLB minimums. You make payroll minimums. Just like we have this bull dinky, payroll max. We have the tax threshold that you can't, if you spend too much money, you have to pay all these extra taxes. How about if you don't spend enough money? These teams need to spend the money that it takes to put a good team on the field. But if you're one of these players and you're going out there every day trying to keep your head up high, and these media vultures like to say that they're not trying, it doesn't have anything to do with that. These players are trying every day. It's the ownership's fault. And if MLB and Rob Manfred, the tool that he is, would actually do something about it, if it was actually hurting the game of baseball, he would say these teams need to spend at least $100 million. Is that asking too much?
No,
the
it's
Mets
not.
just spent $500 million. Is it asking too much to spend $100 million on your team? If you can't afford $100 million, you don't need to own a baseball team.
Good morning to Triple Play. Good morning to SM King Turd.
That was my rant.
Post 19. That was a good rant. Post
Tell King Turd.
1958. NFL Chief is here. Chris Gallo has joined us, and good morning to you all.
And Turd Jr.
And Turd Jr.
And Mrs. Turd.
Now, you look, the Athletics, 17 games behind the Mariners for fourth place. Listen to this, okay? Are you concentrating?
Yeah.
The Athletics are 17 games behind the Mariners for fourth place in the American League West.
Yeah,
now,
and
that
hold on.
stinks.
That does stink. They're 17 games back from the Mariners for fourth place. And in the National League, the Braves are 9.5 games ahead of the worst record in the National League. The Braves lead the National League right now. They're 31-20. They're only 9.5 games ahead of the worst National League team, which is the Rockies at 22-30. Meanwhile, the A's are 17 games back of the fourth place team.
Crazy.
In the AL West.
Chris from Cambridge is here. Good morning. Jorge Soler has now homered in 5 straight games. I will say without a doubt, and this is not a big deal to say it, that's it for Soler. Now, do you take the position? If you have Jorge Soler, do you take the position, put him on the market now and see what you can get, or do you just hold on?
No, I keep Jorge Soler, but I do put Francisco Alvarez on the market immediately.
We didn't get to him
I
yet.
know. Well,
Okay.
I just want to put my feelings out there
Okay.
because everybody's dog. Look, I dropped. Okay, there was an. I'll tell you about Francisco Alvarez when we get there, dude.
Make an excuse. Go ahead. Make excuses.
There's no
Go ahead.
excuses.
Yes, there are. Go ahead.
We all make mistakes, but I had a huge debate with Big Al in the chat room a couple months ago, maybe a month ago. When Francisco Alvarez first came up, he was considering dropping Tyler Stevenson from Cincinnati to pick up Francisco Alvarez. Well, you know he's a huge Mets fan, right?
Yeah, okay. That's fine.
I was able to talk him out of that.
Good. You did a good job.
Tyler Stevenson has 2 home runs on the year,
Okay.
and he's batting .260. Right now, with Francisco Alvarez, what he's done in the last 21 days, people are going crazy over this guy. Wait, these aren't clean.
Well, who put them there? I have 7 pair of glasses.
And I clean them every day.
And she cleans them every day. So I say that Soler, who's homered in 5 straight games, that's the second longest such streak in Marlins history.
Okay, those are
Name the player. This is a genius of the day question. What happened to Anthony D.B. Miller?
He's right there.
Yeah, is he
He's
listening?
just listening.
All right, genius of the day. The second longest streak in Marlins history behind who?
Okay, genius of the day, everybody.
Okay, genius of the day. Soler has homered in 5 straight. Somebody on the Marlins has homered in 6 straight, and that name is yet to be determined. Anthony
I think that people will get this one pretty easy.
Okay.
So let's move on. We'll give them a chance.
It's-
Ohtani struck out 10
Yeah.
last night and stole a base. And so, of course, was this coming from Sarah Langs?
I have no idea.
This Sarah Langs on Twitter puts out such great little tidbits for Lenny, and Lenny follows her every day, and she looks up these great little tidbits and nuggets. I don't know if this came from her, but
Well, she's 39 years old. She was stricken with Lou Gehrig's disease.
Yeah.
And the prognosis, of course, when you have that is not good.
right.
So let me just say this.
Don't make me cry. This
Sarah
is
Langs,
horrible.
we love you. And that's it.
And
all right?
she's done so much. You know, she's come up a long way. in a short amount of time just because she puts her love for baseball out there. She grabs tidbits. She's on MLB TV, and she's just doing what she loves, just like you, Leonard.
Anthony D.B. Miller, you got it, buddy. You got it. LennyMelnick@gmail.com. Send me your address, and we'll send you something that could change your life. Okay?
We have some autographed baseballs.
No, nobody wants an autograph. That's not going to change your life.
Well, what are we going to do with this tub of baseballs that we bought?
All right, we'll see. All right. So you talk about Shohei Ohtani, tied with Max Scherzer and Nolan Ryan for the second most games of
10 or more strikeouts and a stolen base.
Bob Gibson has done it 3 times.
But that's not going to happen anymore because hitters don't typically hit. So Ohtani's going to take that record and he's done.
Yep, he now has 14 games with 10 or more strikeouts since the start of the season, 3 more than anyone else in Major League Baseball in that span.
And he has 46 homers.
And he also has... So... Look, we know we got Babe Ruth, so we got to put him number 1.
You know that Boston Paul sent me this video the other day of
Yes, I saw that too.
You saw the video?
Sends me great stuff.
Was that Lou Gehrig?
Lou Gehrig and
Babe Ruth doing batting practice. And if you look in the background, all the men are wearing suits.
Yes, even to go to wrestling. I used to go to professional wrestling with my father at the Sunnyside Garden. We saw Bruno Sammartino's first match in the United States, and everybody's wearing a suit and tie and even a hat.
It was actually Boston Paul that got the genius of the day. So send us your address, and we'll send you.
Okay, we'll give it to both.
And we'll come stalk you at your house.
Okay, Boston Paul and Anthony D.B.
We'll send our kid over there. He likes Wisconsin.
That's right. All right. So Shohei Ohtani, 10 strikeout, lowered his ERA to 2.91, leads the American League pitchers with 90 strikeouts.
Ursula has 9 extra base hits this season, and 2 of them came yesterday.
Yep. So he's...
all right, let's talk about Alvarez. You can go ahead and read off the good shit. Because I don't believe this guy at all.
How could you drop Alvarez?
Because he stunk.
He has 7 home runs this season. 4 have either tied the game or given the Mets the lead. He's been the best hitting catcher in the month of May, and you're looking to drop him?
I dropped him in April.
Oh, that's different.
I didn't drop him in May, you fool.
Oh, all right. Well,
and I still have him on a couple other teams because I was the one that actually drafted this cat because it was like the last round and stuff, and he wasn't being drafted anywhere. I drafted him just in case. And when he came up, he didn't qualify as catcher, and he was sucking his utility, and he was taking up a spot. I dropped him to pick up some idiot.
I thought the Mets were going to sit with him for a while and let him learn how to catch. It's turned out he's a better catcher than anybody expected.
Yes, this is one thing I'll say good about Alvarez.
Right.
I don't believe his hitting is going to last. I really look at this guy like the next Gary Sanchez. But in his defense, Verlander was raving about him behind the plate. He said he couldn't say enough nice things about Alvarez. Now, I still will never take back the idea of Tyler Stevenson over Alvarez. Even, I don't care if he hits 30 home runs this year. Stevenson is a better hitter, in my opinion. Although, look at the team that he's on. They never score any runs. He's only hit 2 home runs this season, which is pretty disappointing for this guy. He was supposed to be great. But I dropped Alvarez. I do regret it. I still think if anybody, I would sell his ass so quick right now in a trade. There's no doubt about it.
He has earned the right to play. He had a 21-day span in May of hitting .320, 5 homers, and 9 RBIs.
So this guy goes from a 42% strikeout rate. Now, all of a sudden in May, his strikeout rate is like 12%. I just don't believe that somebody that has struck out that much in their entire career in the minors and the majors, he's going to just lower his... It's just not going to last to me.
All right. Pete Alonso, 53 team games, the second fewest to reach 20 home runs in a season in the history of the New York Mets. Dave Kingman did it in 52 games, and he got there with a 3 home run game.
He's got 20. Is he at 20 home runs? He's the first one there?
Yeah, he's the first one.
I still think Alonso will hit more homers than Judge. I think the Mets will come out of their slump.
Yeah,
they lost again yesterday.
Yeah, but what drives me nuts, I've lived in New York. Grew up in New York.
What, the broadcasters?
With the Dodgers, the Giants, and the Yankees. No. And the history has always been, if a Yankee or a Met did anything good, it would be headlines. It would be all over the place.
Well, the media
He'd be the crown of the city. Alonso's not getting that.
He deserves it.
He deserves it. 100%.
They're too busy dogging the Mets for all the money they spent. I just can't stand listening to it anymore, okay?
What do you think?
Cubbies.
What do you think of Jameson Taillon?
Well, he did okay yesterday.
He did
okay yesterday, but he's lost. The Cubbies have lost the first 8 starts that Jameson Taillon this season, and that's tied for the third most consecutive losses when a pitcher starts to begin a season in Cubs history. So he's not doing great for the Cubs, but I will say, he's coming back from injury. Yesterday was his 5th start back from his injury. He said he felt a lot better about his performance yesterday.
Yes.
And you know what? This guy is a hard worker. He has faced tremendous injury and health problems in his career, and he has come back and battled his way back. So I know he's a fighter, and I still think that Jameson Taillon is a decent pitcher.
If you have a chance to get Jameson Taillon in a deal, do it.
You think so?
Do it.
You like him?
Do it.
Cubbies are stinking right now.
Well, they are, but I say get Jameson Taillon. He's about to turn it around.
So everybody's talking about the Rangers and their offense, which has been very good, by the way.
It has been.
But they're starting pitchers. You got to see this, okay? Let me tell you, with these starting pitchers lately, even without DeGrom,
right.
The last 5 starts, this is their pitchers.
Go ahead.
Andrew Haney, 6 innings pitched, no earned runs. Dane Dunning, 5 2/3, 1 earned run. Eovaldi, 9 innings pitched, 1 earned run.
Wow.
Martin Perez, 7 innings pitched, 2 earned runs, and John Gray, 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run. So
and that's without
this
DeGrom,
is a total
right?
of 25 starts. They've given up 5 earned runs.
And that's
25 starts.
That's without Jake DeGrom.
That's without Jake DeGrom, who, by the way, we got some bad news on DeGrom.
What?
The manager said they don't know when he's going to... Well, we'll talk about him when we get to the games. I have it highlighted in the game notes.
Oh, go ahead.
All right, Brendan Donovan last night.
What a night he had.
He scored multiple runs, scored all of his team's runs. He had all of his team's RBI. He had all of his team's extra base hits.
And Brendan Donovan?
He had all of his team's stolen bases, too. No, he basically was a one-man wrecking ball, okay? I don't think the Cardinals won.
No, the Cardinals, no other player has done that in a victory since 1920.
And we don't even really know because that's when the RBI became a stat.
Right.
So we don't know if it's ever happened.
Clayton Kershaw was out with his mother passing away. He allows 149 earned runs to cross the plate.
If he does.
If he allows 149 earned runs to cross home plate before he records another out, he will still have an ERA of 3. That could be the most incredible stat I've ever heard.
It probably came from Sarah Lake.
Probably Caroline.
All right, yesterday the Dodgers reclaimed a lost lead and hung on through a scary 9th inning to claim the 6th win for a visiting team in Rays' 31 home games this season.
That's right. 6 wins for the visiting team in 31 home games. And Dave Roberts reports on Julio Urias.
Yeah, his hamstring bothered him yesterday during the workout, so plans to throw up the mound have been pushed back to Tuesday at the earliest. A sim game would have to follow, so he won't be ready when eligible on June 3rd.
And so many people are in love with Tyler Glass now. Now, let me ask you a question.
I got him for $10 in Tout Wars a couple years ago, and it was the best $10 I spent.
Is that because he's 6'8"? I mean, what has he done?
When he's healthy...
What has he done? He pitched Saturday, was not involved in the decision. He allowed 3 runs, 5 hits, and 4 1/3 innings.
Because he strikes out batters like a friggin' monster, okay?
So
here's the thing.
Yes.
He allowed 3 runs, 5 hits, and 1 walk, and he struck out 8. He always strikes out a ton of batters. That's for sure. That was only 4 1/3 that he spent out there, but And here's the bad news. 4 of the 5 hits he allowed went for extra bases. And the good news is he racked up an impressive 17 swinging strikes and 8 strikeouts in 4 innings. So, and this was against a good team. And he gets to face Boston next week.
All right. Ed Heckman, are you listening?
Yeah. Eddie dropped Grayson Rodriguez. Should we give him credit for that?
Eddie Heckman dropped Grayson Rodriguez?
At the beginning of the year, he did.
Holy cow.
After one outing, he dropped him.
Well, the Orioles announced that they have optioned Grayson Rodriguez to AAA.
Yeah.
And recalled Keegan Aiken. We'll just mention a little bit about Keegan Aiken.
Yeah.
But look, the move brings an end to Rodriguez's first taste of big league. He was the first round pick in 2018.
Okay.
And Eddie Heckman loves him.
No, he doesn't. He dropped him.
He
He loves Orioles. Grayson Rodriguez, 7.35 ERA, 41% worse than league average. His FIP was 5.94. His best asset is his strikeout rate, 26.5. And he doesn't walk very many batters. 10% walk rate is well below average. But this is the bad side with him. He's given up a lot of hard contact. His exit velocity, hard hit rate, and barrel rate are in the 10th percentile or worse. So in 5 starts in May, it's been horrible. He's allowed 27 runs with 10 walks and 11 home runs, okay? Only 22 strikeouts. And he only pitched into the 6th inning 1 time, and he failed to finish the 4th inning 3 times. But here's the thing. Yes, he's bad, but you have to allow these rookies, these youngsters, to go through the bumps in the road. If you didn't want to allow him to go through the bumps in the road, you shouldn't have called him up. Now, it's amazing that they did call him up because really the only above average pitcher that they have right now is Kyle Gibson. Dean Kramer's been okay. They're both about league average. Kyle Bradish and Dean Kramer are about league average. But like I said, Kyle Gibson is the only starting pitcher that they have right now. And Keegan Aiken, I'll tell you about Keegan.
Yeah, tell me about Aiken. Is he worth picking up?
He was a reliever last year. He had a 3.20 ERA and a 3.59 FIP in 81 and 2 innings, 2/3. He was sent down on May 9th. He had a 1.29 ERA and a .14 WHIP with 13 strikeouts over 7 innings and 4 appearances with AAA Norfolk. Aiken has only made 1 start in the majors since 2021. So I would say it's most likely that he'll be deployed as a multi-inning reliever, an effector.
He'll be an
Keegan
effector.
Aiken is
He's
an
a lefty,
effector.
right? He's a left-handed pitcher.
I'm not sure if he's a lefty.
Yes, I'm pretty sure he is.
Let's go to the games, fool.
All right, let us go to the games.
Let me get some coffee.
Let's go to the games.
Wait, is Malpal here? We should start
I'm
off
not
with
sure if
Padres.
Malpal has made it in. It's a Sunday morning, Memorial Day, the whole deal. Pancho Jr. is here. Post is here. 1950 Rotorius is here. SM King Turt, Tommy Johnson.
Hello,
Triple
Pancho.
Play. Everybody, Anthony Miller, Boston Paul, Brewer Jim, James Caplion, Eddie Heckman, Leonard Donaldson, NFL Chief. Look out, we are flying. Better turnout on Memorial Day Monday than Sunday than ever. Go ahead, San Diego and the Yankees.
Okay. The Yankees beat the Padres 3-2. The Yankees got their 5th walk-off win. They avoided the 4th straight loss. LeMahieu, RBI doubled and homered.
Fernando Tatis homered for the 2nd straight game and the 9th time this season.
Yeah, that was actually the only hit that San Diego got against Luis Severino in 6 2/3.
Severino allowed 2 runs, 1 earned, in his 2nd start since returning from a strained right lat. How are your lats doing?
Waka allowed 2 runs and 5 hits in 7 1/3.
Okay, up next, Garrett.
Wait, let's talk about
Wow.
Xander Bogaerts.
Go ahead.
He's got wrist soreness. He was
All right.
given the day off before batting in the 9th, so it looks like he's just got some rest and he'll be back. Luis Garcia was placed on the injured list, and
He's the right-handed pitcher.
tonight you get to see Garrett Cole. Whoop-de-doo. I'm taking Darvish all day.
Winless in his last 5 starts.
Yes,
against-
he's giving up all kinds of home
You,
runs, just like I
Darvish.
said. And Odor is batting leadoff for this
Yeah,
team, by the way.
He's a good pickup. White Sox in Detroit. Torgelson took third on a wild. Eric Hasse got a single to make it 5-3, but Zach Short hit a 2-run homer to make it 7-3 in the 8th inning.
Yeah, the Tigers beat the White Sox 7-3. Lorenzen retired the first 17 batters before Romy Gonzalez lined a clean single up the middle with 2 outs in the 6th. Lorenzen has a huge spin rate. He's always been a great spin rate guy.
What's your spin rate? Do you have a spin rate?
I don't throw, so.
You don't throw. What about
Eric Haas stole
Wait a
base.
second. Are you ready? Are you ready for this?
I wasn't. I
All right,
actually
go
am
ahead.
still.
All right, go ahead. You have other things to say. Go ahead.
Eric Haas stole a base. That's what I'm trying to say. His 3rd base. McKenzie stole his 8th base. McKinstry and Zach Short also stole a base. But this guy Schultens, he came up and made his major league debut yesterday. 4 2/3 innings, 2 earned runs, 3 strikeouts.
Let's tell everybody who could be in the starting lineup today. You ready?
Also, Gavin Sheets was doing good.
Are you ready? Who could be in the starting lineup today? Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you ready? Eloy's coming.
He's actually, he could return as soon as today.
He could.
And Liam Hendricks threw another live batting practice, and he could be activated next week.
Okay.
Liam Hendricks, we've been waiting for him.
Willie Castro. Go ahead. Sorry to interrupt you. Go.
Tonight is Eduardo Rodriguez against Dylan Cease. You know that Eduardo Rodriguez has a better ERA than Dylan Cease by 2 whole runs?
Okay. Dylan Castro.
Hold on, though. Cease is 10-1 with a 1.72 ERA and 13 career starts against the Tigers. So do you take Cease tonight?
Yes, I think Cease and Lynn are both on the uprise.
Okay. Go ahead.
Willie Castro, first career multi-home run game. Matt Wallner homered. He had 4 hits. Edward Julian also homered as part of a 3-hit day. Kirilloff Farmer had 2 hits. Bo Bichette had 3 hits, including a home run for the 2nd straight game. But the Blue Jays lost, I can't believe this, 10 times in 13 games.
Minnesota Twins beat the Blue Jays 9-7.
Also, Dalton Varsho hit a home run.
Yeah. Pablo Lopez allowed 4 earned runs in 5 2/3. And Chris Bassett allowed 7 earned runs in 4+ innings for Toronto. That was his worst start since allowing 9 earned runs to St. Louis on April 2nd. So you got Biggio hit his 4th home run. What do you think of Cavan Biggio? He's getting in the lineup.
I think he's fine. I think he's a little underrated. I would definitely consider him for next year. He's only getting better. I think Bichette, who's got a Major League Baseball leading 22 multi-hit games, entered the day tied with Freddie Freeman for the most in the majors. He has 76 hits, the most in Major League Baseball.
Willie Castro, 2 home runs and a stolen base. So that was his 4th home run and his 8th stolen base. So that's pretty good.
All right. Texas and Baltimore.
Wait, we have some injury stuff.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Kevin Kiermaier left after 2 innings with lower back discomfort. That's never
Daniel Ferrara is here. Good morning. Go.
Carlos Correa was given the day off because of a day game after a night game. He's dealing with plantar fasciitis in his left foot. That shit never goes away, dude. It never goes away. You know, Pujols dealt with it for years.
Mitchell Harston doesn't have it.
And tonight you get to see Jose Barrios against Bailey Ober.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Andrew Haney, you mentioned him before. 7 innings, 4-hit ball. Marcus Semien, 16-game hitting streak, had a 2-run single. The Rangers beat the Eddie Heckmans 5-3. They have won 10-13, 33-18, best in Ranger history after 51 games.
But they just passed Baltimore for the second best in the majors behind Tampa.
How about that?
So this is a big matchup between these two teams. Yep. Austin Hayes hit a home run, and Jorge Mateo stole his 15th base. 37,939 is the crowd. Wow.
That's a great crowd.
So Texas is for sure going to win their 5th straight road series for the first time since 2016. They outscored the Orioles 17-5 in the first 2 games. So they're winning again.
What?
Haney extended an impressive stretch that began after he gave up 7 runs in his first start of the season. He has since gone 4-2 with a 2.75 ERA over his last 9 starts.
Okay, as we mentioned.
Dean Kremer.
Sorry.
3 runs and 5 hits and 6 1/3.
Okay.
Go ahead.
As we mentioned before, Grayson Rodriguez struggling. They sent him to AAA. Keegan Aiken has been recalled, and the Rangers placed Dane Dunning on the paternity list. Now, what about paternity?
Okay, I'm sorry. I got to disagree with you on this.
It should be...
The more babies, the better.
No, come on, man.
The
It should
more
be
families-
a time where you cannot attempt to have a baby.
What?
I'm sorry.
So,
You can't.
for 8 months out of the year, you're not allowed to have sex?
Not an 8-month period. There's a period
If you're
of time.
saying that babies should only be born in the off season,
Not in the off season. They should be born in the off season. That
Right.
doesn't mean that you can't.
you only have 4 months to have sex because 9 months later
Well,
the baby
excuse
comes.
me, I'll take that any day. Okay, Ezekiel Duran.
Hold on a minute. Let me talk about the kid that they brought up to pitch today. Cody Bradford from AAA Round Rock. He will pitch today. He's already been optioned to AAA once today. He made his Major League debut against Atlanta on May 15th, and he allowed 6 runs over 5 innings and got the loss. So he's going to pitch today, and he's going to replace Dane Dunning while he goes and has a baby.
Okay.
So what? They miss a couple days.
No, I'm sorry. You have a responsibility to your team not to miss a couple of days.
Well, if you're white, what about the players that don't show up for their baby's birth? Because they're playing.
Oh, no, they should.
They should what?
They should show up for the baby's birth, but you should not have a birth during the season.
Oh, stupid.
Ezekiel Duran on the 10-day injured list, retroactive to Wednesday.
Jacob deGrom.
Oh, go ahead.
He awaits the next step in his bid to come off the injured list. He threw 31 pitches in a bullpen session on Friday. Bruce Bochy says...
It's called a bull dinky session. Go ahead.
He says, I don't know when he's going to throw again, to be honest with you.
To be honest with you. Now, when a manager says that, to be honest with you,
That's not good, dude.
that implies he's not always honest with you. And when he is, he has to tell you he is.
You know what? If I was a manager or a player, I wouldn't be honest with these people either because they're vultures.
Kyle Bradish makes his 9th start of the season. All right, Astros and the A's. Go ahead.
And he's going to go against this Bradford cat who did not do good last time.
Astros and the A's. Highlights. Alex
All right.
Bregman, go ahead.
3 hits and 3 RBIs, Alex Bregman. Houston's won 13 out of the last 16, and they are a season-high 9 games over 500 after opening the season 3-6.
That's right. And Val, tell you what, Valdez, what's his first name again? Framber. 6 days earlier, pitched his second career shutout against the A's, and he was almost as dominant despite 3 walks. He's a good pitcher.
1 run and 4 hits and 6.
He's a good pitcher. If he was your number 1 next year, would you be okay with that?
No?
No? Framber?
I do like him, though.
Oh,
but
man.
You don't have to draft him that early.
I just said, let's say you wait. So you don't draft him, and then he comes around in, let's say, round 6, and you take him.
I don't know.
And he's your first round, 5,
I don't
whatever.
think so.
But if he's your first pitcher, is that
The way
so
the
bad?
pitchers fall down and get hurt right now, I don't know, man. A lot of the good pitchers are hurt, and they're not doing good.
Ryan Presley retired 3 hitters, got his 10th save.
The A's, we already talked about. They're on pace for 132 losses, 2 shy of the Major League record held
Right.
by the 1899 Cleveland Spiders. Laureano stole a base yesterday, his 4th base. Jeremy Pena hit his 7th home run.
He was in a 3 for 24 slump.
The A's didn't even have a pitcher. Here's this guy Harris, Hobie Harris. He came in after the opener, Austin Pruitt. The opener got the loss, but he didn't qualify for a win. How do you qualify for a loss if you don't qualify for a win? Because he only pitched 1 inning to start the game. But then Hobie Harris came in and pitched.
Hogan Harris.
Hogan, sorry.
Sorry. Who's Hobie?
I learned it from you,
Good.
Leonard. Okay, Hogan Harris. Why do I say Hovey?
I don't know why.
5 innings, 1 hit, 5 strikeouts. That's great. This guy, Hogan Harris. I did a little digging for him, okay?
Christian Javier makes his 12th career appearance against the A's today. Go ahead.
This was Hogan Harris's second appearances with the A's. He is a lefty, and the last time he came out, he had 6 earned runs on 1 hit and 5 walks. He also hit a batter over 1/3 of an inning against the Mets on April 14th. But since he was sent down on April 15th, Harris produced a 3.42 ERA with a 118 whip, 25 strikeouts over 26 innings, and 6 starts with Las Vegas. You got to keep an eye on this guy. I know the Athletics suck. They're not going to give him any run support. He's came in after the opener, but he had a good outing yesterday. He only allowed 1 hit and struck out 5. So
let's say good morning to the great 1, 2, 3 Mal
Pal.
Pal.
How am I supposed to know who you're talking to?
Because I said the great.
Say hi to Mitchell and Merrill.
Mitchell, Merrill, everybody's here. Good morning,
Rotorius.
everybody. No, Rotorius.
Triple play.
Freddie Freeman extended his hitting streak to 16 games. Muncy and Miguel Vargas homered. So the Dodgers beat Tampa 6-5. Freeman 2 for 3, 2 walks. He's 28 for 63. He's scoring at home. That's 444. 18 RBIs during his batting streak.
Muncy home run 16.
Yes.
Betts stole his second base yesterday. Here's the interesting thing. I always like to take a look at the Dodgers bullpen. Gratterall came in for the 7th. Then Evan Phillips came in the 8th, pitched 1 1/3 innings, and then they brought in Caleb Ferguson to pitch for the last 2. Let me see how many batters he faced. He faced 5 batters, but he got his second save, and both Evan Phillips and Gratterall got the holds. Right. Kershaw didn't get the win, but he did go 5 innings and struck out 6. He allowed 4 earned runs. That's not good.
I will be here tomorrow, by the way, so join me if you can on the great Monday Memorial Day.
Neither starter yesterday, Kershaw or Glasnow, made it into the 5th inning.
L.A. has 84 home runs, second in the National League. Tampa dropped 25-6 at home. They've reached 100 home runs in 54 games, and that is the 5th fastest of any team since 1901. How about that? And
Muncy was actually hitless in his previous 10 at-bats.
Mm-hmm. And, of course, Kershaw and Glasnow started. Neither one made it past the 5th inning. Glasnow went 4 1/3. He was sidelined with a strained oblique. He allowed 3 runs. He's 6'8", limited to 39 games from 2019, 2022, and everybody still jumps all over him. Crazy. I
like him.
And Kershaw went on bereavement list.
I didn't draft him on any team.
Okay, activated. Manny Margot had a 2-run single. Ramirez put the Rays ahead with 4-3 with a 2-run homer. You know, Muncy's such a streaky player. He was hitless in his past 10 at-bats, got his 16th home run. Okay?
That's right.
Let's go to Philadelphia. Zach Wheeler, one of my favorite pitchers.
Mine too.
Struck out 12 in 8 shutout innings. The Phillies beat Charlie Morton 2-1. Wheeler allowed 3 hits, walked 1, hit a barrel, got his first win since the end of April, and he went 0-3 with a 4.44. And I can't say that.
In 4 previous May starts.
Yes, in 4 previous
But
May
Wheeler
starts.
said that it was his best outing of the season, and it was. And
Yep.
I hope that's a turning point for him because I need him to do good. I got my pitchers. They started out so bad. Logan Webb is on a lot of my teams. Wheeler is on a ton of my teams. I'm waiting for Rodon to come back. And you know, this Logan Webb turned the corner, and now I'm hoping that Wheeler turned the corner.
Okay.
Sean Murphy homered against Craig Kimbrell, but Kimbrell then struck out Ozuna and Eddie Rosario. And he got his 7th save of the season and number 401 of his career. Murphy, you know, the catcher, had 2 of Atlanta's 4 hits. The Braves went 0 for 4 with runners in scoring position, and the Phillies went 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position and left 12 runners on base.
And the home run allowed by Kimbrel was the 5th he has given up in 20 innings. That's a lot. And Michael Harris, battling multiple injuries, hit by a pitch in the right leg below the knee. But he got up quickly and then headed to
and then
first
went
base.
to first base.
And
So Alvarado, the Phillies, Alvarado, he was scheduled to throw a bullpen session, but he threw off flat ground instead after he felt stiffness. And Thompson did not feel like it was a setback. He's expected to still return mid-June.
Andy, we got to thank everybody who has supported us in the chat room on Sunday, Memorial Day weekend. We love you all. We thank you all. No way we could do this without you, so we really appreciate it.
Charlie Morton joined Kershaw as the only 2 pitchers with at least 10 starts this season to have a decision in every game.
And right-hander Spencer Strider with a 2.97 ERA goes against Dylan Covey in the finale of the 4-game series on Sunday. Pittsburgh, Seattle, go. Luis Castillo, my number 1 pitcher in fantasy baseball. Go ahead.
Struck out 10 in 6 innings. The Mariners beat the Pirates 5-0. Castillo allowed 1 hit, walked 2. He earned his 2nd straight win since dropping consecutive starts, and his 10 strikeouts matched the most since he was acquired in a trade with Cincinnati.
And can I talk
Your boy,
about?
yes.
Yeah, can I
please.
talk about?
Yes, of course. You get to
Vince
talk.
Velasquez came out after 2 innings. He had and after 2 innings, I had discomfort in watching Vince Velasquez. So
Yeah.
there you go.
He also exited
Pitching elbow. Oh, man.
7 hits and he walked 1. But here's the thing about Velasquez. He came out after 2 innings yesterday, but he also exited with elbow discomfort in his previous start on May 4th when he lasted just 3 innings. So he was on the 15-day injured list prior to being activated for Saturday's start. So is he going to go back on the injured list? There's a good chance he does.
You may not even see him the rest of the year. Julio's coming as Julio Rodriguez, 5th multi-hit performance in 6 games.
Yeah, France, Crawford, and Rodriguez each had 2 hits.
Okay, he's on fire. Luis Ortiz goes
He
for
stole a base yesterday.
Luis Ortiz goes for the Pirates. Marco Gonzalez, who I like a lot, goes for Seattle.
And Bay stole his 15th base yesterday.
Oh, man, he's turned into
Juan Bay.
Juan Bay. Go. Mitch Haniger hit a go-ahead 2-run homer in the 8th. Logan Webb,
I love him.
1 run over 7 innings. San Francisco beats Milwaukee 3-1.
Yeah. Webb allowed 4 hits, struck out 11, and walked 1. The Giants won for the 10th time in 12 games. Webb was 0-4 with a 4.94 ERA after his first 4 starts, and now he's 3-0 with a 1.30 ERA and 5 starts in May.
Okay, Tyler Rogers, scoreless ace. Camilo Duval, he let off with a double, but he finished with his 14th save and 15 opportunities. Duval's 11 saves in May, the most in franchise history.
Corbin Burns allowed 1 run and 4 hits in 7 innings, struck out 8, and walked 3. Thairo Estrada placed on the 10-day injured list with a sprained left wrist. David Villar was recalled to replace him. And then Willie Adames was placed on the 7-day concussion list. So I thought they said he was going to go on the injured list. You know, he got hit really hard in the head. But he only went on the 7-day concussion list.
Less time on the concussion list, right?
I didn't hear you.
That's less time on the concussion list. All right. The Nationals in Kansas City, C.J. Abrams. He's going to be a good one. Hit a 2-run double in Washington's 4-run 6th inning. Corey Dickerson gets his 1,000th hit. And big inning. Corey became the 12th player to reach hit a big inning. Inning.
He was the...
You can go. Let's talk about Brandon
Finnegan.
Finnegan.
Got 1,000 career hits yesterday.
Yes.
The Nationals beat the Kansas City Royals 4-2.
Finnegan earned his 11th save of the season.
Josiah Gray gave up 2 runs and 4 hits in 4 innings. The Nationals have scored a combined 12 runs in the 6th inning through the first 2 games of the series.
What about Brady Singer? I used to
What
like
about
him.
Lane Thomas? He hit a double, and that extended his on-base streak to a career-high 23 straight
Does anybody
games.
know about that? I didn't.
Well, I just told you because
Yeah.
you were going to skip it, Leonard.
23 game in.
Brady Singer, you don't like this kid.
I do, but I can't figure out why to like him.
Walks too many batters. 5 innings, 2 runs, 4 hits. He struck out 6 and walked 3.
Okay.
What about Salvi?
He had his first pitch slider right to his 12th season home run. Kansas City dropped to a 3.14 in the season and fell 1-8 at Kaufman.
They suck at home.
They can't win at home.
No.
Reese McGuire, you want to go to Boston, Arizona?
Wait, Massey stole a base, and Mackenzie Gore is going up against left-handed pitcher Daniel Lynch. Daniel Lynch, he had 6 scoreless innings in his latest rehab outing this past Tuesday at AAA Omaha. He's 26-year-old lefty. He was poised to be part of the opening day rotation before he had a left shoulder strain in late March. He compiled a 5.32 ERA, 1.60 WHIP, and 177 to 83 strikeout to walk ratio across his first 199 major league innings between 21 and 22. He's got a real mixed bag in the minors, so he's going to start today, the Red Sox.
And Cora came up with a good move. Reese McGuire's safety squeeze.
What does that mean? What's a safety squeeze?
Safety squeeze is that if a man on third
Yeah.
and he doesn't run home
Right away?
he waits and the player bunts and then he scores. And you can do that's a safety squeeze. A suicide squeeze is the opposite. That's when a player steals home and then the bunt allows him to score. That's a suicide squeeze.
I guess a safety squeeze is safer.
Well, the Rhoda lady just made a comment that will go down in fantasy history. Say it again. Say it again.
I guess the safety squeeze is safer than the
That's
suicide.
you heard it twice. The safety squeeze is safer. Holy crow.
Okay, shit.
Good.
Okay.
Boston won its
So
first.
the Red Sox beat Arizona 2-1, and
Yes.
Boston has won the first 2 games of the series, and they're going to go through it.
The safety squeeze is safer.
They're going to go for a 3-game sweep today, okay? Zach Davies, he was activated yesterday. I told you yesterday, you better watch out for Brandon Pfaadt, because if Zach Davies comes in and pitches decent, Brandon Pfaadt is going to lose his job,
And
which he did.
Which he did.
Zach Davies hadn't appeared in a big league game since April 8th. He looked rusty. He only lasted 3 1/3 innings. He gave up 2 runs on 5 hits and 2 walks, and he struck out 3. Garrett Whitlock, on the other hand, he was out since April 22nd. He did okay. He allowed 1 run and 2 hits over 5 innings. So both of these guys went, 3.5 innings for Zach Davies, 3 1/3.
Yep.
Caught stealing Verdugo. Kenley Jansen earned his 11th save of the season, and he's got career save 402. The Diamondbacks had just 3 hits and only 1 after the first innings. The Red Sox pitchers didn't allow a walk. They retired 25 of their final 26 batters. Rafael Devers was out of the lineup for a second straight game because of his calf. Davies and Dre Jamieson were added to the roster, and Brandon Pfaadt and Luis Frias were demoted to AAA.
So many people doing the Memorial Day thing here on Sunday. We miss Laura. I don't see Laura in the chat room.
I know, we do miss Laura.
All right. It's okay, Laura.
Look, Malpal says that the Orioles do not expect Grayson Rodriguez to be down long.
Really?
This is if they brought him up early, remember, and if they leave him down for an inning,
I disagree,
well,
Malpal.
he could be right because maybe they're just sitting him down so they
Of
don't
course
get.
he could be right, but I'm saying he's not.
Grayson Rodriguez needs to stay down for a certain period of time so that they don't lose a year of contract on this kid.
Right. Jonathan India homered twice, drove in 5 runs. Cincinnati, the Cubs, yes, they are struggling. T.J. Friedel and Matt McClain each had 2 hits. And Tyler Stevenson, remember him? He won. He had 2 hits as well.
The Cubs have lost 3 in a row and 10 of 13 overall to fall 7 games below 500 at 22-29. Are we talking about this game?
Yeah, the Cubs, Cincinnati.
All right, Williamson was the pitcher. Whoops.
Seiya Suzuki played. Patrick Wisdom, Jan Gomes all returned to the lineup.
I lost my place.
All right, Drew Smiley starts today for the Cubs against Graham Ashcraft.
Williamson, 4 1/3, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, and 3 strikeouts. Did you say Nolan Gorman?
Yes.
He went 0 for 4?
Wait a second. We're doing St. Louis and Cleveland right now.
So
Brandon Donovan scored on a pass ball in the 10th inning. He homered in the second. You may have said that already.
No, I didn't. I was just looking for my place because I lost it.
St. Louis won for the 14th time in 20 games, despite managing only 2 hits against Tanner. I like Tanner Beebe. I like him. I'm taking him. You'll see. He'll be on my team next year. Ryan Helsley pitched, an inning and a third for the win. Giovanni Gallegos got his 6th save, scoreless. And you talk about Donovan, home to right. He did everything yesterday.
So here's one thing. The Cardinals pitcher, Steven Matz, he was 0-6 with a 5.72 ERA through 10 starts. He's going to work out of the bullpen now till at least next weekend. Matz allowed 6 runs and a season-high 11 hits over 4 innings on Wednesday at Cincinnati. So he has only made 10 relief appearances in 9-year career.
He's pitching terribly.
I know, he's going to the bullpen. That's the long story short, okay?
Nolan Gorman, 0 for 4, ended his on-base streak, 17 games. Paid attendance, 32,000. Second largest of the season in Cleveland. Okay? Trailing 34,000 on opening day. Mets has made, as you said,
I told you all
only
this,
10 relief appearances. The Mets in Colorado went at it.
Ryan McMahon had a go-ahead homer, and the Colorado Rockies beat the Mets 10-7 after blowing an early 6-run lead. Charlie Blackmon hit a 2-run double in a 5-run second inning that helped the Rockies race out to a 6-0 advantage against Justin Verlander after 3 innings. So why is he... whatever.
I don't know. Pete Alonso, his 20th home run. Francisco Alvarez with 3-run homer. Starling Marte, 2-out RBI single, put New York in front. And look.
How about Jurickson Profar? He added an RBI triple in the 8th inning, and he extended his MLB best on-base streak to 34 games.
And McMahon hit his 2nd home run in 2 nights. He had gone 27 previous games without one. Pierce Johnson.
11th save.
Got his 11th save, 3 quick outs.
Now,
right?
Alonso has homered in 7 of the past 11 games.
Okay.
And your boy Alvarez, you can talk about him.
Batting .478 over his last 7 games, and she wants to drop him.
Verlander, 5 innings pitched, 6 earned runs, and only 2 strikeouts. And Chase Anderson pitched 5 innings, 4 strikeouts, and 1 earned run.
C.J. Cron fielded grounders, hit the batting cage for the last 2 days.
They say he's getting closer to coming back.
Well, he's not getting any worse. Florida and the Angels, Jorge Soler, sell him, trade him, do what you want.
No, keep him.
Don't keep him.
Sell Francisco Alvarez.
Soler homered in his 5th consecutive game. So I'll tell you what. Marlins' 3rd win in 4 games. Dylan Florio pitched the 9th.
And Brian Hoeing finished the 9th, and despite allowing a home run, not a home run, just a run.
And Florio pitched in his 3rd straight game.
Marlins have beaten the Angels in consecutive games for the first time ever.
How about that? A.J. Puck threw a 20-pitch bullpen. So that's pretty good for A.J. Puck. He's on his way.
Oh, he's been on his way for 5 years.
Anthony Rendon ran sprints to test his injured groin.
A.J. Puck, dude.
So it just keeps on going.
If I was sitting here with you, on this show, and you said A.J. Puck's name, and I didn't do any looking or any research at all, I would literally just guess that he's doing bullpens and he's on his way back. Because the chances are good that I would be right.
Let's thank you all for a great Memorial Day Sunday. Anthony D.B. Miller, Big Al on the prowl should be here. Anyway, Boston Paul, Brewer Jim, Chris from Cambridge, Daniel Ferrara, Eddie Heckman, James Caplion, and King Hap has joined us. Good morning to the King. Leonard Donaldson It's going to be unbelievable for this guy. He worked as we most
Congratulations,
of us have.
dude,
And now,
on your
Monday,
retirement.
he's got nothing to do. We'll see you in the chat room.
Come to the pool.
Malpal, NFL Chief Poncho is here. Post 1958 Rotorious SM King Turd, all the turds, Tommy Johnson, Triple Play, and everybody in the chat room. We love you. We appreciate you much more than anybody could ever tell you. But thank you very much.
So the Angels are recalling 22-year-old Ben Joyce. He's a 6'5" reliever who set a college baseball record last year by throwing a 105-mile-an-hour fastball. He's going to make his major league debut. So far this season at Double-A, he has a 4.60 ERA, 24 strikeouts, 14 walks, 4 saves in 15 and 2/3 innings. So Ben Joyce will be a good source for holds, Malpal. That's the Angels. He's in an AL-only league, and he thinks he needs to trade a starting pitcher for holds.
Wow.
And I told him, no, don't ever do it.
Okay, well, let's thank everybody in your family for what you've done. It's pretty remarkable. And let's see if we can... there's a couple of pictures I want to put up, but I don't know how to do them.
Save it?
Hold on a second. Yeah, I already have it saved.
Okay.
But now, when I go to the chat room, how do I get it up there? I get it up with this? Oh, with that. Okay. With that. There you go. Okay.
Who's
so
that?
let's put stuff in the chat room that you may want to see.
That's your dad.
That's the legend senior.
Murray Melnick.
On Memorial Day. There he is.
Now you want to put up you?
Here's one more. Okay.
You might have to refresh before.
One more. And there's my dad once again.
No, that's you.
No, that's my dad.
I think that's you, Leonard.
Good. No.
I'm almost positive it's you.
Isn't that something that looks just like me? Thank you, everybody. We'll see you again tomorrow. I will be here. Hope you are too. Thanks.
Lenny's dad fought in World War II, but he didn't die in World War II.
No, he died when I was born.
Well, it's Memorial Day, so I wanted to make it clear.
He did not pass away. All right.
Thanks, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks.